Bras, as much as it's like a business, it is like my art practice. The way I like identify myself and express myself is through my clothes. I feel inspired by, you know?
And welcome to Intro. Today we have Dom, who is a London-based designer and seamstress who makes underwear inspired by the women that have inspired and influenced her in her lifetime. Sets are made up of reclaimed, upcycled materials, and to make some unique, one-of-a-kind, custom-made pieces, which are adaptable too. Working from her South London studio, battling the fast fashion industry, one brown panty and guard skirt at a time. Yes. Why is slow fashion important for you?
Like, this is why I'm such a bad businesswoman, because the most sustainable thing is to not buy anything. So like, there's already so much stuff in the world that, you know, we don't need any more things, but that's not what like my practice is. That's why it kind of goes more into like an art practice, and why I teach workshops on like how to make your own stuff out of stuff that already exists, you know? Sustainability comes from like how you interact with the world. And I guess it starts with like, if something's special, like think about something before you buy it. Like if you have that urge to like shop, think about like the story behind the people that make stuff. Sustainability is like shopping as locally as you can. When someone buys something that's like expensive and they know who's made it, it makes them look after the thing more. Like all of my stuff, like I have a following of people who like interact with me every day and like get to know my life. And like, there are people who have bought like 3 or 4 sets off me. And like the part of it is that you hand wash it. You don't chuck it in the washing machine. You like care for it. It's like a special object and you know where it's come from. It's not like this throwaway thing that comes in like
off the rack kind of.
It's not, it just comes in this like plastic package that you can like have a little return slip, and when that gets returned you don't know where it's going. This pair of knickers that cost £4 because the person who's made it gets paid 20p, you know. Like, I don't know, I think it's about like understanding where your stuff comes from and
having respect for it, you know what I mean? And I feel like so many people so easily fall prey to impulse. So the company that I used to work for, which I don't work there anymore, is built on sort of like sustainable ethics, you know? And like a lot of it is, it's like having pieces that you actually want, and not just like falling prey to being like, oh my goodness, time's going to run out, the sale's going to run out, I need to buy it now. It's like, if you actually really consider what you're buying, it's just it again, you just like, you appreciate it so much more. You know, so it's super important.
It's like a longer model in terms of like business, for everything to be made to order, made to measure, made to order businesses. Like, they are kind of, they're not going to make you big bucks fast. But like the fact that people who buy stuff off me, I show them how to measure yourself properly. They send me their measurements. I make things exactly order by order. Like, it doesn't matter whether I have to like change the sewing machine threads however many times. Like, that means that set will be exactly the right fit.
Special. As well, whenever you buy anything that is custom made, like I know personally with me, it's always made me feel more, I don't know, this is something really special about having something that's made for you. And it makes you feel even more like kind of hot. Sexy basically.
Like, this person has made this thing for me.
And it's like fitting to your form.
We were going to have a discussion about like the types of models or people that you use whenever you're creating sort of content or, you know, photography and stuff for your brand. Like, how do you go about that whole process?
So it started with just like me getting my friends dressed up, which was always such a special thing because like it's so intimate. Like, you hang out with your mates all the time. You're not necessarily hanging out in your pants. And there's something when someone who's not a model like sees themselves and they're like the beautiful pictures that I take of my friends, and they're just like, wow, that's so special. And I'll now see that for the rest. I'll like have that for the rest of my life. Like time where like having that ease, like we have cups of tea, we like have loads of breaks, we like chat about life. And then like, I just reached out to Lois on Instagram and was just like, you seem like someone who's like confident and open. And I think now that it's got past a certain point, like I still, most of the time, take all my pictures, apart from sometimes when I work with my friend Holly Whitaker, who's an amazing photographer. And like the other day, I met up with this girl that I found on Instagram called Kim Kardashian, and she's she's a Polaroid artist. She takes Polaroids and she's like big in the kink world. And her and her boyfriend just like take pictures of her in her little outfits that she makes. Most like she has a couple special pieces, and then she has the pieces that she makes. Because, no one's got any money. She just like ties little ribbons and like cuts up tights.
Cute.
And we had this amazing day where we both like got dressed up in my stuff and took pictures of each other. And it was like, we learned all about each other's lives. I came out just being like, wow, I think you might be my friend for life. And it's just like this intimate thing of getting to know people.
Yeah, there's nothing more like vulnerable than like being with each other in your underwear. It's just like, okay, now I know you.
The ins and outs. But like I don't really like pick anyone specifically. The kind of people that model my stuff, it kind of happens organically. And it kind of, it's just people who I feel inspired by, and I'm like, wow, I want to capture that.
Oh, that's cool.
Love that.
It was actually really fun doing that modelling stuff, because especially like I hadn't really done a couple pieces of modelling of underwear, but like, I don't know, there's something quite liberating I always find when you get to kind of, I don't know, just dawn and to be like kind of displaying, I guess, presenting a piece, especially of your work. And I've been following you for ages. It was really like, cool for you to reach out to me. I was like, honoured. I know you spoke about doing your workshops. What can someone expect to come to your workshops? And why do you think they're important as well to do?
As I said, I think it's the most like revolutionary thing to be able to make your own clothes. I think as someone who loves fashion but can't really afford much of it, the way I like identify myself and express myself is through my clothes. And that happened through learning how to sew, like teaching myself how to sew 8-9 years ago. And now like I made my underwear, didn't make these trousers, I wish. But when you come to my workshops, it's like I give you that power, of like being able to turn your old dusty clothes that are going to sit in a corner waiting to go to the charity shop, which those clothes are probably not going to sell because no one wants your dusty clothes from Primark. If you want to come and like turn them into like an amazing like leotard or bodysuit that you can like come and customize it, and you can come and do this stuff, use all my machines. And it's also just like a really lovely day to come and meet like-minded people. I think like what's missing in London right now is like community things that you can meet people who are into the same kind of stuff as you, that doesn't involve like alcohol or doesn't involve like being an extrovert.
Right.
I find that when you're like doing a craft, everyone's kind of so focused on like concentrating on the task at hand, and it's so mindful. You can have moments of silence and you can still like be connecting to each other in a way. You can still, I feel like sometimes people who are a bit introverted need to have something to be focusing on to be able to have these conversations. And because it is so intimate what we're making underwear, the conversations that do come out are quite like vulnerable and they're sweet, and like you end up talking about like, I don't know, dressing up or clothes or fashion or like your sex life or like, I don't know, various different things that like, it's just a really nice day.
Yeah,
I feel like making clothes, it was definitely, I don't know, our parents' more generation, because my mum used to make her own clothes as well before she was like, before I had kids, I used to make my own skirts, make my own like blouses. But it's not something, I guess, don't know, I think our generation was so used to just being able to buy things and just walk in and just convenience. We haven't really, unless you're like, you've studied fashion or textiles, we haven't really been, I think, socialized to be like, yeah, we should be able to make our own things and go like and do that. And I think that's a really important thing. I've been seeing a lot more kind of independent like designers such as yourself doing that. And I think it's a really like great thing to be passing down to others.
Yeah. I also think there's the other thing of like a lot of people who are business orientated would ask me like, why are you dishing out your secrets? And I'd be like, I don't know. I learned how to do this from the internet. Yeah. It's already out there. People whoever wants to can learn how to do this. I'm just like cutting out a couple steps. And also I think because I work by myself, which is like one of the biggest challenges to like running your own brand, it gets quite isolating. So like, that's a really nice thing to be like, the people who come and learn my skills, they come away with it being like, wow, thank you so much. But they also become some of my like repeat customers. So you're not like taking away a customer. You're just actually showing people what it takes to make the thing. And then also when people learn how to make their own things, they're like, wow, this does take a lot. Maybe I will think twice when I see something in a shop selling for £5.
Thinking twice before like going, hey, where's my order at?
Yeah.
Actually, this does
that takes time.
Yeah, for sure.
So as a small business owner, you're obviously running the ship yourself. How do you manage to find like a balance between work, life, being creative, like finding creativity as well? How do you balance it?
How do I balance it? Sometimes it's a struggle. I found like sometimes it's hard to switch off, especially when like you run most of your business through Instagram and like I make sure I like turn off alerts and whatnot. But I think like my own creative practice, I've been kind of doing a little sideline to L-Bras and working on projects that kind of infiltrates it, but also allows me to feel creatively inspired. So I'm doing this photo booth project right now. So I had some people apply through my Instagram. I did a call out. And a lot of like 30 people, I've sent them some like free little bits and they have to send me their own like Apple photo booth selfies, because I think there's like something so empowering about like sitting in your bedroom taking pictures of yourself on your computer, because we've all done it.
For
and it's kind of where like all of us, I think, of our generation like taught ourselves about our sexuality. And I'm gonna like put that into an exhibition where I'm going to set up a live photo booth and build an installation of a bedroom.
Oh my gosh, cool.
And that's gonna probably happen at some point in the next few months.
That's exciting.
But yeah, just like building an artistic conversation between me and my customers is how I've been trying to creatively boost myself rather than just like
working away.
Also, you're like a one-woman team. So there's no extra hands.
It's not easy to do it all. You're doing the financing, you're doing the social media, you're doing the making. It's not easy to be able to manage it all. But that's cool that like, I suppose such an important part of what you do is like creating that community and creating that space for people to like come and learn to make and stuff like that.
You get repeat people coming back to your workshops and stuff.
Not so much my workshops. I like used to do like just knickers workshop. And then people will come back for like the full set.
Cool. What would you say has been your most challenging thing about in your work? What do you find most challenging in your work or having set up L-Bras?
I think the most challenging thing is Instagram censoring me and shadow banning me constantly. It's a real. I've just like been reading about it loads recently. Just like Instagram hates, even though I'm not like soliciting sex or going against any of the rules about like showing various different body parts, like everything's censored, everything's kind of abstract anyway, like most of my pictures. And I really think that Instagram has a problem with women making money off their own bodies, or women making like erotic circles of the internet, even though it's everywhere. Sex is everywhere. Sex sells. You know, we all know like Kim K breaks the internet every single time with her body, and still, if you don't have the money behind you, independent brands who are run by women are being punished, and I've been censored and shadow banned and like had things removed and like almost been removed from the thing. And I'm like, I'm selling underwear.
You know, it's very clear you're selling underwear.
I don't really know how else I'm supposed to sell underwear without taking a picture of it on a body. So I'm trying to work out how to get around those loopholes right now. I'm like almost at like I don't know. It's just frustrating. Yeah, that is the most frustrating part. I bet. Because people like my stuff, but they're not being shown my stuff. People choose to follow me, and they're not being shown my stuff. Yeah. So that's quite exhausting. Yeah.
And that is like that is the platform. Yeah. You know what I mean? That is where your audience is at. So that must be.
And when did you realize you were being shadow banned? Did you get a notification or like?
Yeah. So like I would get, none of your stuff gets shown. So like I would see like 100 people have seen your stories when usually it'd be like 2,000 people. Like, which is what I'm on right now. And then your posts don't get shown to anyone. It's like there's certain part of like, oh no, you've got to play the algorithm, you've got to do the reels, you've got to do your get ready with me, you've got to like do your making videos, you've got to cook your bank, show everyone what you're cooking for breakfast. And it's like actually Bras, as much as it's like a business, it is like my art practice. And like, I'm not going to put something out there to like fit into the box of the meta rules. Yeah. I want to like, 100%. It's my artwork and I want to, I want to feel proud of what I put out there. Yeah. And I don't want to like sell my soul.
Yeah, no, 100%.
So I'm going to keep going.
Yes. I think you should, definitely. Yeah. What's the most memorable project you've worked on or piece that you've done?
Do you know what? It's mostly just like the shoots that I have with people. I think that's like the most fun that I have. Each shoot is so different and it's like getting to know someone so beautifully and you have so much fun. And I have like developed real friendships with people that I just like met off the internet and just like you have a few hours of being like vulnerable and intimate. It's just like the community that I've built of people that just like trusted me to be vulnerable with me. This like random person from the internet being like, hey, you're kind of great and amazing. Cool. You like give off this very like warm and gorgeous vibe and I want to take your picture or like make a video of you in stuff that I've worn. And they've become like really good friends. So I guess that's my highlight.
That's great. That's a great highlight.
That's a nice highlight. And so what are you currently working on, or have you got any future plans? Another project?
Yes, so I recently got an old family camcorder, and I've been shooting some really fun stuff since the summer. So I'm making a little film, which is going to be Bras, the movie.
The movie.
So that's being made right now. And then this photo booth project. And then Christmas, which is going to be busy. I've got loads of like a million ideas for new products that I'm working on. But yeah, lots of exciting things.
That's really cool. It'd be so cool to have like an exhibition that isn't just, I mean, like obviously the lingerie is like the core of it, but it's like showing a whole bunch of other skills.
Yeah.
That's super
exciting. All of the women who wear my stuff in their own bedrooms, doing what I did when I started and still do to this day.
That's so cool. A celebration.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, fab. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for sharing with us today.
Thank you. And this is Eldom.